Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to match day 4 of the NAF Rules World Cup qualifier ticket playoff resin thing. I still don't know what to call it. It's NAF Rules style play-in ticket for the NAF championship thing, you know. Anyway, it's match day 4. If you watched the other 3, you'll have known we drew our first 2 and then we won our third one. So we have this crucial final round match versus Pilepoil's Lizards, which we need to win to stand any chance at all of qualifying for the last 16. Going into this game, we're 28 on the rankings, so out. So we have to win. We have to win the game. And I just want to preface, before we go any further, I just want to preface that this was genuinely one of the worst games of Blood Bowl on my side. I think I played terribly, honestly. And I want to put that down to the fact that this happened last night. I played this game at 9 p.m. last night after streaming 6.5 hours of Black Orcs, taking a 3-hour break to have dinner and spend time with Mrs. Ketovix. My brain was fried. So there's a couple of errors, and there's a couple of bits that I wasn't happy with. But yeah, so for potentially one last time, let's have a look at the teams. We have, Dark Elves, 11 players, 2 rerolls, an Apo. We've got 2 Wrestle Witches and a Dodge Assassin and 3 Dodge Blitzers, which is pretty cool, isn't it? And we're up against 6 Block Swords, so it's very easy to very easy to solve. We wanted to kick the ball. Thankfully, our opponent won the toss and wanted to receive, because we wanted to force them into stuff. And then we get a blitz. So I was like, okay, pretty cool. Force our way in here, and instantly sculled. I was thinking cheeky, 1-into-1, and then we can dodge through and get a load of things under the ball, but no, it wasn't to be. See, Roz likes this build. Yeah, I wonder why. See, Roz, I really like this build as well. I may or may not have watched one of your Dark Elf versus Lizard Euro Bowl practice games last week in preparation of this. Admittedly, I think every bit of advice I took from that went out the window. But yeah, we decided that we were just going to get banged on, which I thought was suboptimal. But yeah, it's really hard playing Dark Elves versus Lizards, isn't it? Trying to play for the win. It's quite a tricky matchup. So we sculled on our blitz attempt anyway. So, and yeah, the Dark Elves got a really nice setup. I said we'd dodge him away. I really should have dodged the blitzer away first, but again, this is kind of what comes into my brain wasn't fully switched on. So we should have obviously dodged the blitzer and then dodged the lino, which was terrible. And immediately our blodger got stunned. But it's not dead, so that's good. I also don't know why there's no rerolls or no Apo or no dice log showing up, but we both started with 2 rerolls and an Apo. They have a bench and we don't, basically. Yeah, I think dodging with dodge was a fantastic idea, actually. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't do it, to be honest. But we did start off with our first 2 dices being a skull and a 1, so it could really only go up from there, I thought. See, we rolled a 5 there. And It only took us about 3 turns, but we finally got a setup that we could actually be, you know, somewhat proud of. Yeah, the 1D and the Crocs to try and get some players back I think was pretty cool. Pilepoil did a pretty good job throughout the game of keeping up the like the line of lizards, right? Explain my setup? Well, like I say, Seabros, there was not a lot of thought put into this. I was very much playing it on vibes. My brain was a potato for this entire game. So I was very much just like playing it by what looks somewhat right without giving any thoughts into it at all. So, you know, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah. Look, listen. I'm not saying that it's perfect. In fact, I've come out and said that it's actually terrible. If you think this is bad, wait until you see some of the other turns. Oh, man. Oh, some of the other turns were criminal, like. Some other turns were criminal. So we really should screen off over here a bit more. And then I do a very idiotic blitz. But maybe it's not too idiotic, looking back on it. At the time, I thought it was a bit stupid. Like, this witch should have moved first before doing that dodge, and this assassin should have moved before doing this blitz. But in hindsight, I don't hate doing this. I think I should have blitzed from this angle, though. Because there is a potential that they just blitz us onto the Crocs, which is obviously stupid. They double skull, reroll, so down to 1 reroll. Yeah. I mean, I don't record, like, it is quite helpful for me to cast these for the YouTube afterwards, because I know what I should have done better. And I'm also not tired after playing, like, 8 games of Blood Bowl in a day. Yeah, it just completely gives them the space, right? Which is why I was like, oh, these guys should all move over here. I don't... Genuinely, maybe I just don't blitz that turn, right? Like, if everything can come back around, it'd be a bit better. When's the next Blork game? Well, we actually got the second Blorks in the ladder, which is quite cool. And again, I think this guy dodges off, right? I was thinking about it at the time. So this guy, because the Crocs isn't there, right? So this guy could just go 2+, 2+, and then come back down to here. And then all of these can come back around here, and we can screen off these 3 players. I think that's much better. Whereas Monkey Brain was like, 2D on a Crocs and stab a skink? Whoa. Yeah. I really was not on the ball at all. Which we'll see even more next turn. Yeah, for sure, zeros. But you don't need to play the ladder, right? And again, this guy 1 square further down, and it's so much better. This is our round 4 NAF World Cup qualifier ticket, Jock. Must win game with the Dark Elves versus some Lizards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a terrible blitz, right? Terrible blitz. And then this guy should have been 1 down, and this guy should have dodged off instead of blocking. Yeah. It's so bad. God. So terrible. But yeah, so for those just tuning in, this was a must-win game I had to play last night. So at this stage, right, I'm genuinely, I'm just like, the sack is the only thing that stops me from the 8-turn stall, basically. So I was like, right, fine. Let's go for the sack. Like, what's the worst that happens? We don't sack the ball. And they get an 8-turn drive. And then we draw. Like, fine. Which means we both lose the game. Or both lose and get knocked out. Which is terrible. But it also... Like, there's nothing else we've going on. Like, there's no other easy blitzes or anything, or getting our screen back. There's too much on the wrong side. So, I think going for the sack is pretty good, right? If it goes up here, we have this blitzer to recover. If it goes over here, we've this guy to recover and maybe give it to the blitzer. And, well, if it comes down here, then maybe this guy can do something. But I think the sack is the only thing that I could do. So... we do go for it. In we go. Doesn't get him on the first 2D. Doesn't get him on the second 2D. Doesn't get him on the third 2D. And then my witch is in fierce danger of being surfed. So I was like, right, let's just dodge over here. And at this stage, I was like, right, fine. they're probably getting an 8-turn stall and, you know, surfing a blitzer or something. Glorious sacking dice. You'd be proud of them, Jock. You know, the Delves finally decide to go in and nothing happens. So then I thought they were definitely going to surf us, but for some reason they didn't, especially after this one, right? I really thought the blitz was just here and surf, and then you can 2D off the witch with the skink, and then you can come down here and stall. But instead they decide to blitz the skink, which I thought was really interesting. Like, surfing the blitzer is so much better, and then you just stand here for a turn. Thanks, Bros. Have a good one. And then, bizarrely, they just go for the handoff to score on turn 7, giving us 2 turns. Which is exactly what we want. In a must-win game, we've now gotten 2 turns. But yeah, like, I played terrible in this game. My brain was completely fried after all the excitement of the Black Orc games yesterday. My brain was completely fried. This turn 7 and 8 was, man. This turn 7 and 8, I really questioned whether or not I can play Blood Bowl. We're not really replay analyzing. We're just saying I did shit and terrible, and you know, we're casting it for the YouTubes. Yeah, too much black orking really fried my brain. Again, I really wanted to push there, and I wanted to pow here, but you know, thankfully got the removal. I think they should have power appled that. And I think he double rushes, or at least single rushes out the way. But I got no scoring threat in, sure. Based off a few men's, you know. And then failing a leap. So we have 2 wonderful scoring threats. Woo! It was terrible. Complete and utter brain dead plays. Get kind of bailed out here slightly by, you know, I think I would blitz this one, right? Like, obviously the blitz here pushes us out of range. But I still think I'd have blitzed this one. And then just, like, formed a line or something in front of this. Yeah, classic Keith failed to jump. It's why I haven't played Slan yet. And they won, or they snaked that dodge, but yeah. So we have an outside chance of 1-1 at half time. Just having a look to see if I did it optimally. I don't think I did. At the time, I thought to myself, this could have been better. Like, this guy does nothing going there. I guess maybe we do another 2+ and then we can do 2D into 1. Whatever. So we get the pushes, get the dodge out of our way, get the 3+ catch, and then get the 4-3 too. Which was... I mean, it's what I had to do when I got to that point, but I feel the build-up to that handoff could have been done significantly better. Yeah. Yeah. There was a bit of luck. So, 1-1 at half time, going into our drive. Woo. Like I said, it genuinely was nowhere near anything good. Blood Bowl. And then I figured the only way we can probably lose this game right now is if we get blitzed on. So, you know what? I finally did a good setup, I think. I finally decided to get my finger up my arse and, you know, do a good setup for once in my life. You know. And then, you know, brainless, let's stab a skink. Woo! What could possibly go wrong? Dark Elves are harder than Black Orcs, it's true. Black Orcs are so simple when you think about it. Fail the dodge from the tail. Makes the dodge from the tail. I think we're a bit too condensed here. I would have liked to seen this spread out more. I cannot tell you how happy I was to see the Crocs running this way and not this way. So, I think if these guys were even like 1 or 2 squares further over, it'd look much better. But our opponent was very much like, oh, we're just going to screen you off. And that kind of told me a lot about how they might play this half. So when I see this sort of play from my opponent in a must-win game for both of us, I was kind of happy I just had players in the backfield, right? To just go around and harass some skinks. Again, should have just spread these guys out, right? Instead of doing this. But I was kind of happy with where my screen was. Looking back on it, should have spread them all out a bit. Good afternoon, Lady Faye. How are you doing? Get another POW on the assassin? I can't remember if our Apo is still in play at this point. My witch got KO'd at the end of the first half, didn't it? And I think that was the power Apo. Yeah, I don't know what the Crocs is doing in the backfield, to be honest. Really gave us some, like, let off on the pressure. Seeing the Crocs up in the backfield. Just like, alright, okay. And then they're all kind of in here. There's a bit of space, so... I think just switching around was pretty good. Even if, you know, we decide to fucking X-cage. And then I don't know what this guy is doing and why this was completely left open. But, you know. Blood Bowl is easy. Just roll some 2s. Very stupid. And then he wasn't very keen on, like, doing anything. I think his defense was quite poor. But, Yeah. I think the defense could have done some work. But the wall of lizards or the wall of saurus are forming again. Yeah, the saurus all get a friend. They do, don't they? And then we instantly won a 9. So, woo! I've had some very quick turnovers in this game that I've just been like, yeah, fair enough, fine. Whatever. So now I'm expecting like blitz on a corner and then Crocs on the ball, right? Like that's what the opponent should do here. Or as we were saying at the end of the last stream, that's what my enemy should do. But it does nothing. Just wants to keep the setup. Like this Croc should be on the ball. 1,000,000%. It's very strange that it didn't get on the ball. And then I was going to blitz this, and then I changed my mind. I changed my mind about blitzing this one, so that's why he went there. Which, you know, terrible. Yeah, like, that's the thing, right? They just wanted to like elf screen basically and keep us from making progress. But this is a game that the lizards also have to win. The lizards have to win this game as well as us. So I think it was very, very strange altogether. Double skulls. And then, like, again, like, why not follow up there and tie up both our players? It's really, really passive, yeah. Yeah. Like, if our opponent was any bit more aggressive and the way I was playing, they absolutely win this game. Like, my brain wasn't switched on at all for this game. Like, the win was there for the taking from the Liz. Absolutely. Like, I was playing at about 10-20% capacity. To the point where I'm like, alright, let's just immediately get shut down here on turn 15, turn 14. But I do think going to the side where the Crocs isn't is quite strong, isn't it? And it's a shame we didn't get to knock down the Saurus. But even then, it's still not super duper strong. So now the Lizard just should go all in, right? And I'm kind of happy that this guy is here. It potentially leaves the switch on if they overcommit, which, you know, considering how much they played so far, they could easily just overcommit here. But they don't. So they stun the witch, and then they do a good job of tying up the other lineman. And in fairness, they do protect the switch over quite well, I think. And if you thought my turns were bad before, wait until you see my turn 15. Wait until you see my turn 15. We tried to go through. And we didn't. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea. Yeah. Yeah. Woo! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's fine. Look, they've burned all their rerolls and they've pushed us closer to the end zone. Let's go. On it, like I said, this is just brain dead stuff, right? My brain was not on at all. Like, I wasn't even painting by colors. I was trying my best to keep in the line. Yeah, yeah, Zach, I think you'd have been really impressed with how bad it was. So yeah, basically, that's us fucked, right? Yeah, weird non-follow, weird not picking up the ball, I taught myself as well. But, sure, it is what it is. Never truly fucked, no. There are still ways to win this game. So we've given ourselves a 3-2-2-2, basically. Gets a 3, gets a 2. Shadowing fails. 2+, 2+. Way. Easiest game of Blood Bowl of my life. Woo! So good at the Blood Bowls. So good at the Blood Bowls. It's because my brain does switch on occasionally, Hargrim. You know, I might play Brain Dead for 7 turns, but sometimes the brain gets switched on. And then we did the old Seabraw's 1-turn defense. Oh. So Lizards with a 1-turn with no rerolls. I did my best to lose this game several times. Yep. Several times I did my utmost to lose this game. In a game in which I needed to win. And the game was just like, would you like to win the game? And I kind of just went, not sure. And then the game went, would you like to win the game now? And again, I was a bit uncertain as to whether I wanted to win the game. And I was just doing my best to throw it. But there you go. Some might say one of the most undeserved victories in the world. And do you know what? I'd find it hard push to disagree. But we did win. We went unbeaten. Again, I, you know, played terribly. Shouldn't have won the game. But now I might qualify for the last 16. But I also might not qualify. There are still a couple of other games outstanding which can very easily kick us out. There are still 8 other coaches, or 8 coaches who can come above us, or 4 games. So it's the top 16 that go through. So it's probably likely that we get knocked out. It's probably very likely that we don't get through. But anyway, if there is another one of these videos, you know, you can watch it when it gets onto the YouTubes. And if not, it's been a fun run. Tried our best. No, we didn't. We tried our best in other games, and in this game, we showed up. So, thanks everyone for watching, and see you in the next one, maybe. Woo!